I've got a prime fucking example. It was one of the most disgusting experiences of my life in a public place, right? It was during lockdown. It was when I was doing the quizzes, and we had a load of stock that got overprinted, and so I had a box of it, and so
Oh
I
yeah,
was
yeah,
doing
I
giveaways
remember.
for the quiz
Yeah,
prizes, right?
yeah,
So I had a load of them that I needed to take to the post office, and this post office was in a co-op, and this was when it was like fucking like three people in the shop at a time. You have to queue up outside, blah, blah, blah. Right. So I'm queuing up. And for some reason in this co op, I don't know if it was because of the area, fuck knows, but they had a security guard in there. Right.
yeah, yeah.
Now
Right.
I went into the post office bit and I I think I didn't have the bags or something like that. So I bought them in there to then put the shirts in. So I took 10 minutes. I was writing the addresses on these thingies on the side where in normal life you can literally stand there and write out whatever you want, right? I was there for 10 minutes and this security guard who was obviously like letting people in kept poking his head round and looking at me, right? And he came over and it's like, you got to go. And I was like, what do you mean? I've got to go. I've not finished what I'm here to do. I've literally got two more addresses and I'm going to post them and then I'll go. And he started getting really agitated and really angry with me. And I said, look, mate, I'm not fucking leaving. I've been doing this for the last fucking 10 minutes. I'm nearly done. I'll post them and then I'll go. Do you know what this cunt did? Right? He went outside and told the entire queue, oh, yeah, there's a guy in there with a beard who's refusing to leave and is taking age. So basically, he was pissing off the queue
Yeah, we're using
about
you to do.
me. I'm not being funny. Like, not to be extreme because it didn't happen, but who's to say that didn't piss them off? And then I got attacked on the way out because that, like, everyone
Yeah,
was just in this mental
yeah.
fucking mind
Moves
state.
or height and
So I
whatnot.
was just there to do what I was there to do, which is not a fucking issue. He was making up rules that I had like this fucking 10-minute slot to be in the shop and then went out and grasped me up to all the people that were waiting. And it's
Yeah.
just like, what fucking. I left there so fucking angry. And I was angry for like a few days about it because I was like, what fucking reality am I living in here where I can't go to the post office, write on some pieces of paper and post some fucking shirts without being like verbally almost abused and then almost set up to be attacked by a fucking mob outside. What the fuck? Where am I? Is this like Black Mirror?
Yeah.
It
What the
was like,
fuck?
yeah, it was the whole thing was like Black Mirror.
It's
There's
fucking mad.
so many like funny things that happened in life that were just happened so quick, and
Yeah,
just like you're queuing at a supermarket and you you're only allowed to get one toilet roll and just
yeah.
about
Yeah.
weird things. Just
But mate, I'd
as
never forget the first shop I did after lockdown, mate. When it was fear was like at its peak, I had like two masks on, marigold gloves, like like in the fucking shop, with
Yeah.
a trolley, get all your food, get home, Dettol the food down with wipes and shit.
Yeah.
Just what the fuck were we doing,
And
man?
when it was, I remember at one point, and Amazon must have just gone, yeah, fuck off. They were like talking about banning deliveries or putting them
Yeah,
halt so, because like the stuff could travel on parcels, and it was like, shut up, like
yeah.
now you're getting stupid. But my mum was doing all our returns, and like she would get them, and then they would sit somewhere for like 4 or 5 days, like
Yeah.
and then she would spray them all down with Dettol, and
Yeah.
then like transport them, and it just made me laugh,
But
like all that out of packaging. I'm like, it's just hilarious.
Yeah.
I
Like looking back, it's hilarious.
it
But
is.
Yeah.
I knew
Fucking
someone
insane.
who would purposely leave all the mail, all packages they've been sent, and quarantine them in their own house for
yeah,
48
yeah,
hours.
yeah,
Just leave it there. It's like, I'm not touching that because it might have COVID on it. So I
I
can't. It's
think
like, fucking hell.
yeah, the moment that fucked me up was I drove over because my mum lived by herself, so she was in my bubble, so I could drove over on my birthday to see her, and she got like quite into it, like the rules and as we all did.
Yeah, yeah.
But she was very stringent, and she wouldn't give me a hug on my own birthday, and that was when I was like, this is actually fucked.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
we are so scared. Everyone is so scared to be near each other that we won't, like, my own mum won't give, and I've totally, it's not, I don't hold it against her or anything, but it's just a moment where it's like, wow, my own mum won't give me a hug on my 26th birthday. I don't know, 27, something like that. So yeah, it's just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Do you know what, as well, thinking about it, it's orchestrated very well to control people, because what it did was, instead of putting the onus on you and your health, it
Yeah.
it made you the perpetrator.
Yeah. Oh, you
So
don't want to kill your nanny, do you?
yeah, so
You don't want to
it
kill
all
your
of a sudden,
granddad.
where it's like, whereas if you said to, I think if you said to 99% of people, or I'd say 8% of people at the time, whatever, most people would have cracked on, unless you've got vulnerable children, like people, you go, okay, yeah, we'll that makes sense, and for your own health, you would go, yeah, let's crack on, because I'm willing to take the risk myself because of the stats, whatever. But what it did, and what they cleverly did, was if you had that attitude, all of a sudden you were willing to be a spreader, and you were going, and then all of a sudden, if you did anything, people were like, oh, what are you doing? Like, you're going against it, you're going to spread it, like, and you're willing to take the risk yourself, but now you're a spreader.
Yeah.
I'm not being funny. COVID is still out there. It still
Oh,
exists.
still,
and yet no one gives a fuck.
It's still 100%
No one
still going
cares.
around. Yeah.
Yeah,
Do the
no one
test.
fucking cares.
When you get a cold, do a COVID test.